We're back, Rip City Drive, and very happy to welcome in studio because I don't get to see them in person too often, but John Gilroy and Jeff Napoli from Gilroy Napoli Short. Of course, they are great partners of mine and with the station. But guys, welcome. What's up?
Hey, Chad.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you.
I mentioned earlier that you guys are distraught Blazer fans. We were just talking hoop right now. I didn't have any expectations for Melo, but what did you think about last night? 25 points. He passed Alex English on the all-time list, and he led the team in scoring in a victory, which they needed.
It was awesome. First of all, we just locked all the knives up at the law firm. As far as being distraught about what's going on. But we were just talking about Melo. Jeff can speak to that probably, right?
Yeah, I don't mind the idea. I mean, I really am hoping we have a big December. I was telling John today, if we don't have a big December, I think we need to really adjust where we go. I wouldn't mind kind of playing for a lottery pick and making a good trade and see what happens next year.
Yeah, so they can make a run at a championship. Yeah. Now, where do you guys come out? We haven't talked football as much as we do Blazers, but are you guys Beavers? Are you Ducks? Where do you come out on this Civil War situation?
I grew up a big Duck fan, still a Duck fan.
I'm a Willamette Bearcat, so I'm in between.
Yeah, you're out of the mix on this.
I'm out of the mix, yeah.
Well, it's great to see you guys. And, obviously you guys, Gilroy Napoli Short, you hear me talk about them all the time on air. You can check them out online, GilroyNapoliShort.com. You guys are growing and expanding. And I say that you guys have the entire state of Oregon covered, but talk about what's going on with the business in terms of your expansion across the state and some of the markets you've entered into now locally.
Well, we have an office obviously here, and we have an office in Salem and Bend for the last couple of years, but we go everywhere. So we're expanding now into Southern Oregon. We go there a lot. Jeff has family from there. We're all from here. So in this day and age, you can really be anywhere, and we kind of help people all over. So.
Yeah. So how did this work? So you were just telling me, I didn't even know this, but you guys actually went to high school together, and then you formed this team, Gilroy Napoli Short, and you've got a lot of great people that work with you. But how did it come to be? Let people know how you guys came together. How did you form this group? What were you doing?
Well, Jeff and I went to high school together. We met when we were 14. We went to Jesuit High School. We ran track, played football together. In fact, we played football. He actually played football, and I was on the team. But I never dropped a pass. I had one reception in high school, 14 yards.
You were perfect.
Never dropped a pass. He dropped lots of passes.
He keeps saying that. I mean, our friends tease him all the time. He kind of held my water, I think. He would bring me water.
Yeah, he played in college, but he dropped lots of passes.
Yeah, big game this weekend, though. Jesuit, Lake Oswego.
Yeah, big game. Big rematch.
Yeah, they already played this year.
Lake Oswego won earlier this year, right?
Yeah, they're really good
shootout.
Yeah, that's good. So we reconvened after kind of law school and whatnot, and we ended up working at the district attorney's office out in Washington County together, and that's kind of how we came.
That's how we started. I mean, from the day we were at the DA's office, we were kind of talking about something bigger or better. His dad was a longtime judge in Clackamas County. He kind of grew up in a lawyer family. His dad had his own practice for a while before he became a judge. So we always tossed around the idea, and it just got to the point that we pull the trigger now or we become a DA lifer.
Yeah. Jason, who's not here, we ought to have a little picture of him.
That's right. We should have a little picture of Jason up. I think with Jason, I love him, but he's not as willing to. He's not looking for microphones in his life. Right. I don't think.
Maybe he's not as flashy.
He's low key. I like that though. So, what was it like growing up in a household with your dad, who was a judge?
It was great. My dad, those who know him or those who feared him in court, he's a great guy. He passed away about 10 years ago, so we miss him a lot. But learned a lot from him, and he loved it. He loved being a judge, and he thought he would think, Chad, you should be a lawyer. He thought everybody. But he taught us a lot. And when Jeff and I first started our law practice, and we were at the DA's office, we were just a phone call away. He was always there to answer questions. There's nothing he had never seen before, so it seemed like so.
That's awesome. What a great resource that is.
It was, yeah.
John Gilroy, Jeff Napoli here in studio. So you guys are working in the DA office, and you decide you want to do something different. So walk me through that. What were you guys trying to do? Because I've heard you guys tell me before that you wanted to kind of get a taste of the other side, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think we wanted to do something else. We wanted to kind of run a business and whatnot and help people from a different perspective. We also really, when we started, wanted to do a lot of personal injury litigation and help people who get hurt or discriminated against, like in the workplace and stuff like that, which we do a lot of. That was our primary focus. But when we started, we had always prosecuted people, like DUI cases and other criminal cases, so we knew it really well. And actually, to be honest, when we first left, we were like, wait, I don't want to do that. I don't want to, help somebody who just did something wrong. It was kind of our gut feeling. But then we started doing it, and we really liked it.
Yeah.
And in many respects, we liked it better from that standpoint of helping people who just, were down and out or just needed somebody who had some empathy for them. And that's kind of how we began. And then we ended up really, really liking it and kind of stuck with it, as well as the civil side. So.
But haven't you guys, I would imagine, isn't it enjoyable though when you take someone who's broken or they made a mistake and they need help, and a lot of people don't understand how the system works, right? So you take someone, whether it be a DUI or they've got issues or maybe it's a personal injury or so forth, and you can walk them through the process and help them. I would imagine that's maybe a different mindset than what you had in the DA office to be able to help put pieces back together for people.
Yeah, and John and I were talking about this when we were coming in here, as far as kind of what we pride ourselves on as a law firm and what we focus on as a law firm. And I think there's always a misnomer, and I had it when I came out of the DA's office. My dad was a New York City cop for years, and he worked in Beaverton when we moved out here from New York for several years. And so you have that kind of a background. You have this misnomer that a criminal defense attorney is there to get some guilty guy off, and that is not the case. I mean, you're basically there to help somebody through a very stressful process. So I think a lot of the gratification that we got was out of having these people come into our office that are really good people, come from great families, and it's the first time they've ever kind of touched foot inside a jail after being arrested. And they come to us just looking for help. And sometimes that help is just being a counselor for them and being there to kind of guide them through the process and help them through the process and let them know that this isn't something that should define them, but ultimately they can learn something from and just be better for it down the road.
How many people who have gotten a DUI that you guys represent are first timers, people that have never been there and done that before, but they call you because they have no idea what to do next?
Lots and lots.
Probably the majority.
Far majority.
Yeah.
A lot.
And most all of them say, "Gosh, I wish I had taken an Uber or a Lyft."
Yes.
But most people, and they're clueless as to how it works. It's super intimidating for people who don't go to court or, just seeing flashing lights and being arrested, and it's a scary situation.
I'm glad you brought that up with the ride share, because right now it's, we're entering Thanksgiving, holiday season. There's gonna be a lot of people who go to parties and different events where there's going to be drinking on hand. But it's so cool now that people have access to rideshare, Uber, Lyft, whatever you want to use, because we didn't have that when we were younger.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. It's great. I mean,
and it's the advice I give all my friends. Of course, you're sitting around and you're maybe having a cocktail with one of your friends and they're saying, "Hey, so tell me about this DUI thing. What do I do? What do I do?" And the first thing I always say is, get the Uber app or get the Lyft app and just take a ride from it with Uber to the bar you're going to or to the function that you're going to. And it's going to save yourself thousands and thousands of dollars and, license suspensions. It's going to save yourself a lot of grief and aggravation if you just do that first.
And you don't have to park. And you get dropped off like a rock star.
Yes, and you're making the decision beforehand, before you've had a couple of beverages. So you're making the decision ahead of time to go to that location instead of having to try to piece everything together after. Because a lot of times you end up having more than what you expect or whatever. And that's
when the car keys are in the pocket and your car's sitting out there in the parking lot, it's easy to justify.
Right.
Easy to justify.
I've got my guys here. I've got John Gilroy, Jeff Napoli from Gilroy Napoli Short. Now, aside from the DUI, which is what I talk about a lot on the radio, but you guys do other things. Talk about some of the other. You're talking about personal injury. What are some of these events that maybe there might be someone who's suffering right now that doesn't know how to move forward or to have themselves protected? And I guess the way you guys have put it to me is that someone gets hurt. A lot of times insurance companies don't necessarily have the individual's best interest at heart.
Well, like a lot of law firms, we do a handful of things that we focus on, and the civil side is a big part of it. And Jeff kind of heads that civil division, so I'll let him kind of speak to that.
Yeah, we have several attorneys that exclusively just do personal injury. And to what you were saying, it's usually people who have been injured in some way, car accidents, they're a pedestrian that's been injured. or somebody else's negligence hurt them. And then they're dealing with an insurance company, and they've got medical expenses, they've got wage loss perhaps. And so, calling us and getting that peace of mind and helping them through that process. And sometimes, we provide free consultations. Sometimes it's somebody who just calls us that's been through that, and we'll just help them. It's maybe a case that they can handle on their own, and we'll give them some advice on how to deal with the insurance companies. Because in the end, the insurance companies are multi-billion-dollar companies because they're saving themselves money. And so they don't have your best interests at heart when you're dealing with them. So we come into play in dealing with those kind of cases. And then we have a separate part of our practice that does a lot of employment discrimination and harassment, wrongful termination. So if somebody in the workplace is being mistreated by their employer,
and this happens all the time, right? This stuff goes on.
We get a lot of calls in regards to that, and it's a huge part of our practice, and we've done a lot of work in that regard. And you're really, it's gratifying in the end because you're helping a lot of people that are up against a multi-million or billion-dollar company, and they don't know where to turn. And so it's gratifying helping those people through that process because, in the end, they're just looking for some kind of help.
Yeah, that's terrific. Now, with criminal defense, what are some of the common cases, or is there a common theme with the different type of things that come up where you represent people with criminal defense?
I would say, a lot of people who have kids, maybe like late teens, early 20s, who do really stupid things, or are selling drugs, or get off track, and we deal with a lot of those types of cases, a lot of domestic violence type cases, spouses just getting into fights and things like that. Kind of a whole smattering of cases where people are human and they do dumb things. You can kind of just let your mind wander what that is, but a lot of them are it's like the first time it happened, like we were saying earlier, and you just kind of walk them through that process and get them through it.
And with the Civil War coming up, that's when we get these calls, Chad.
Civil War, Super Bowl, a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, and it's, and again, it's like, you don't put yourself in that position, but it's not uncommon for us to get call from parents, after a weekend and their son's down at U of O or their son's down at OSU. And it's like, and we have so many contacts within this community because we grew up here and we went to grade school here. And we have so many contacts. And so when our friends have kids that go down to U of O, it's just undoubtedly, we get these calls on Monday and Tuesday after there's like a big game or something like that where, somebody just did something a little crazy.
And that's where most of it involves alcohol.
Yeah.
Most always.
Yeah, most of my...
something like that, yeah.
When I think back to some of the dumbest decisions I made, it was usually after a couple of drinks when I was younger. Not the brightest things going through my mind at the time. It's crazy. I got my guys here, Jeff Napoli and John Gilroy. Gilroy Napoli Short. You can check them out online. And, of course, you can always call them at 503-747-7198. Now, if you guys have time, I want to keep you. I've got a treat for you. You told me a while ago that one of your favorite things you've ever heard on the show with me is SEC Guy. Is that true?
Love it.
All right. Well, I'm going to play a little treat for you when we come back if you'd like to hear it.
I can't wait.
All right.
All right. So stay with us. We'll hear a little treat from SEC Guy when we come back. Jeff Napoli, John Gilroy here in the studio. You got the Rip City Drive on your home of the Blazers, 620 Rip City Radio.
Rip City Drive with Travis and Chad.
And I know that a lot of you out there think, well, they're just marginally better, Chad. Wrong, wrong, wrong. This team is upgraded.
On NBC Sports Northwest 620 Rip City Radio.
I already got my fellas, Jeff Napoli, John Gilroy, Gilroy Napoli Short in the studio. Jason Short, give you a shout out, my friend. Sorry you can't be here, but what's up? All right, so Jeff told me that SEC Guy, and I know John's with him on this, they love SEC Guy, and so I thought, well, let's keep him for another segment. I'll play a little treat because you probably haven't heard this one. But a few years ago, I was hanging out down at Spirit Mountain Casino, and SEC Guy had come out for a weekend to go check the Civil War because we had told him about the big game and what it was about and everything. So he thought, well, I'll come out, and Chaz, you get me tickets, I'll come out and I'll go to the game and stuff. So he came and hung out with me before the game at at Spirit Mountain Casino for a pregame, and Greg Fritz, who was my key contact down at Spirit Mountain, he delivered some news to SEC guy that I didn't want him to know, and he had a field day with it. So take a listen to this. SEC guy a few years ago with me, with Greg Fritz down at Spirit Mountain Casino.
Did Chad offer you like anything like maybe a ginger ale or maybe a bag of peanuts? Something like that?
He didn't offer me anything,
Well,
not a single thing. I got to the Hotel
Chad-
50. He didn't offer me nothing.
Not even a ginger ale?
He didn't offer me a ginger ale,
Or,
nothing.
or little peanuts? You want to explain that?
What's that mean, Chaz? I thought he was just
No,
being
no,
a
no,
good
no.
host.
Go on, tell him.
At a younger,
Let's hear this.
all right. At a younger age, I had a short stint as a flight attendant.
What's the number here? 503-6300. This is going to play a game. The first person who can guess Chaz's boyfriend wins tickets to the Civil War. They can go with me. First person who guesses Chaz's boyfriend's name and how long they've been dating. So let me get this straight. Paint your nails. Skinny as a rail, I noticed, which is also suspect. Skinny as a rail, suspect. Paint your toenails, suspect. And you used to be a flight attendant, what we call stewardess. Chaz used to be a stewardess. He would fly around and give people peanuts. That's the best, Chaz. He used to wear a kerchief also, Chaz. That's so funny to me. Woo! It all makes sense now. Hey, I'm proud to be repping the Beavers because this is what I am. I'm the Beaver King. You're not, obviously. Obviously. I'm the Beaver King. You're a king of something else. Let the record reflect that. Portland, Oregon, and Spirit Mountain.
Man, I meant to set you up, but he just knocked you right out of the park.
Wasn't a setup when it's the truth. Chad, let me ask you something. Did those gals just tell you all their secrets because they thought you just would go to your grave with it because you were just one of the girls?
I was the only guy
Yes, yeah.
with 13 students in the ground school. I was the only male.
How do y'all let him talk sports? How do y'all even let him talk about sports? It doesn't even make any sense. Chaz, here's what you should be doing. I'm going to ask you some. Hey, Chaz, listen, I got a problem with my tulips. What's the best way I can get the chinch bugs off the tulips? Here, take this call, Chaz. Chaz, line 2. Oh, hey, listen, I want to know what's a good type of hearts of palm salad for you to make. I got a hearts of palm, and I want you to help me make a salad, Chaz. What kind of lettuce is best with that? You can answer that one. Hey, listen, Chaz, I've got some sconces I
Just
need.
turn it off. Turn off the
I've
radio.
got
It's
some
flight
sconces.
750.
What's the best sconce for me to use?
There you go. How good was that?
Wow, Chad, you might have a claim.
Yes. Yeah.
He is
I'm going to
class.
call Gilroy Napoli Shore right now.
He is classic. Yeah, you just got roasted.
Oh, man. That's so good.
He is so good.
His wit is like I can't keep up with it because he's too smart, he's too sharp, and now apparently he's quote in retirement, but he still reaches out to jab me once in a while. So he'll join me. He came on before the national title game last year with Clemson, so he'll join me occasionally, but he's more in
I
retirement,
would
taking it easy
love
down
it
in
if he
Mooresville.
was just a regular.
Just have him on
He's
as a
so
regular
good.
deal.
He's so good.
That's good. So what do you guys got going for Thanksgiving? What's the plan?
We usually host at our house, so my parents will come over, and we kind of have an adopted family. The Middletons, that my wife, she's a registrar at a elementary school near my
cool.
house, and so we kind of adopted this family that comes
I have
over.
a couple college-age kids coming back, actually right now, picking them up, and yeah, just getting together with the family.
That's good. What's your guys' go-to? We were having a big argument in the office today about the Thanksgiving meal. Is it overrated or not? But what are your guys' go-to in terms of dishes? What are you looking for on Thanksgiving?
Large plate of everything.
Everything. He wants everything.
I like to mix it up with a prime rib once in a while. I'm not a huge turkey guy.
Yeah.
I like prime rib. I like steak.
But prime rib's like that's pretty much
a
that's a
Christmas.
normal type dish for things. We see it a lot more on Thanksgiving now, right? Where people will go prime rib.
Yeah, I would rather do a prime rib than we're gonna cook a turkey. But
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
not a big turkey guy.
He's kind of fancy pants with the prime rib.
Yeah, yeah.
a
With a
more
little
spinny than a
horseradish.
dish, yeah.
Little horseradish.
That's good though.
But the leftover turkey sandwiches the next day as well.
Yeah. That's what my dad loves. He thinks, for some reason, that the Thanksgiving leftovers, like after they have a chance to cool, and then when you go back for the reheat the next day, he thinks that the flavors are actually better. because they've had a chance to kind of marry together. So he does that. You know, he won't waste anything, so he'll just continue to go back to that over and over again. He thinks it's the best.
My big thing with Thanksgiving is it's like a 3-hour, 4-hour cook for a 10-minute meal. And then
Yeah.
it's over. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
That's why I feel like I've been getting over all my life, because when I was a kid, my mom would kick me out of the kitchen, and so I would end up watching football. I'd come up and eat, and then I would return back to watching football. I don't know how that worked, but that worked out pretty well for me at the time.
Well, we always have the TV on during the meal.
Yeah.
You
You
have
gotta
to
check
have
it out.
football. You have to have football on during the meal.
Well, if you're listening right now and you need help, maybe it's a DUI, maybe you need criminal defense, you can check out the website, which is great, and get a chance to check them out, GilroyNapoliShort.com, or you can place a call, 503-747-7198. Now, this is one thing that maybe people don't know, but maybe they just got a DUI or they need criminal defense. But you guys, if they make a phone call to the office, you guys can answer a couple of questions to find out if you can help them or not, right, with the consultation.
Yeah. They call. We don't charge them to talk to us. We don't charge them to meet us.
Yeah, because when people think attorney, they think, you know,
Yeah.
you can't even have a conversation without, you know.
Yeah, the bill's
Running
coming
up
in
a
the
tab,
mail.
yeah.
Right.
But that's not true.
No. We're happy to answer any questions. We're happy to meet with them. I always say I don't charge people to meet me. I'm not that special. So we just usually they have the same questions about the license. A lot of it has to do with the license suspension, and then what's going to happen in the case. And most of the time, it's not the end of the world. It's just a big, expensive hassle generally.
That's awesome. All right. Jeff Napoli, John Gilroy, Gilroy Napoli Short. You can check them out online at GilroyNapoliShort.com. Phone call if you need, 503-747-7198. Guys, I love both of you. I'm so glad you came down today. Happy Thanksgiving, and we'll catch up again in the near future.
Thanks for
Thanks,
having
Shane.
us.
Remember, Valley Catholic.
That's right.
Come watch my daughter play.
When do I get a chance to get out
I
there?
know. She's dying to have you come watch her play.
All right. Shout out to Valley Catholic. I am
Yeah.
coming out to check out a game, I promise, and I'll give a
Do
full
it.
report on the show the next day.
Perfect.
You got to tell me the game
Thank
times.
you. Will do.
All right, big thanks to everyone who joined the show today. We will catch you tomorrow. I'll have things at 3 Rip City Drive, and then Trailblazer Game Day at 4:30 as we get ready for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Have a good night.